Well, we've set up this office here in this great old building. It's an old tannery, boot-making factory, which goes back to the late 1800s. I wanted to make a comfortable workplace with good natural light and plenty of desk space. I think creating an environment that is enjoyable helps our team perform at their best. We've attracted a diverse and skilled group of professionals who share our values of creating thoughtful buildings with a very personalised experience for our clients.
The pride that I take in the work that we do here, particularly at Wolveridge, it's such a pleasure to come to work every day and work on something totally unique. Every project is so different in many ways, and that's such an enjoyable part of the process, and to get to contribute to that in some way is brilliant.
I've always been interested in keeping the practice at a medium scale. We have resources to tackle large and complex building projects, as well as maintaining our love for small projects.
I get to be involved in all aspects of the project, being involved in the design of a project, right through to documentation and dealing with clients, dealing with builders.
Yeah, I think the client has a really important role to play from the time they walk in the door and sign up with us. It's a pretty collaborative process the way we work with the client, and we hope to involve them as much or as little as they want to be involved, and typically we're finding the clients really want a hands-on approach. They want to feel like they've had an input into the way their building's resolved, and I think that's part of the enjoyable process is sitting with the client around the table and really taking their ideas on board. I think the way we use the 3D model to demonstrate the design to the clients is a really crucial tool. Right from very early in the sketch design phase, it's a tool that can be used around the meeting table, the ability to show them the 3D form that their building is taking.
I learned parametrics when I was working in London, and it's been really helpful, particularly the environmental side of it, being able to use these kind of advanced computer techniques to manipulate a building form to optimize it for sunlight, wind, as well as shading and structure.
You know, I still sit at my drawing board on a daily basis, and I just feel, for me personally, that's the way of expressing and testing and sorting through design alternatives in order to get the concept right. I'm working on something right now that has been on the computer for about 6 months, but we felt that we needed to step back, take a bit of a fresh view, and the way to do that is to get the pencil out and roll over the yellow trace and see what comes out through that process. The design approach for us is very dynamic. We spend lots of time out on the site. We like to understand the context, whether it be an urban environment with a historical context or industrial context or whatever it may be. In lots of our cases, it's the rural or the coastal environment, and that's a really wonderful context to work with. So we look at those things and we take cues and we allow them to inform what we do on the site. And of course we need to respond to the physical constraints, the weather constraints, those practical requirements, and then of course the client's brief itself. So we put all those together and they inform what's intended to be a unique architectural solution for any given piece of land. I love being at a building when it's being finished off and handed over, giving the keys to a client and having a beer with them on that day is really a special occasion. By the time you reach that point, they've always had a different view through their own eyes of what it is ultimately they're going to be going into, so there's always been that trepidation and that excitement from their perspective. As the architect, we've been putting the whole thing together, so by the time we're walking through the completed space, the joy for us is to see the joy for them when they walk through the space, and that's really pleasing and satisfying and makes all the challenges, the issues and so forth, the getting there, makes it all worthwhile.